Well, once again, the judge sides with Ripple as yet another company files its amicus brief. And in this video, I'm going to talk about what I referenced several weeks ago when I talked about some outside parties that were filing amicus briefs in support of Ripple in their case versus the SEC. So I'm going to tell you what the judge did. Also, there's some housekeeping news I wanted to talk about what is going on inside of Twitter, specifically with Ripple versus the SEC, John Deaton, and several others. Also, XRP is holding incredibly strong right now. And in this video, we're going to be talking about some of the reasons why. And it's not just XRP that's holding strong. There is a blast from the past, yes, from last winter, inside the XRPL ecosystem that has also been holding strong. And not just holding strong, it's actually been exploding up nearly 400% in the last 3 weeks. I'm going to tell you about it in this video. Hey everyone, my name is Randy and welcome back to the Late Night Grind. Right now on this channel we are covering the Ripple versus the SEC case, as well as other cryptocurrency news, investment markets, and personal finance. So if any or all these topics interest you, go ahead and make sure you hit that subscribe button, join the Late Night Grind community. Also, if you do a couple things, I'd appreciate it. Watch this video all the way to the end, and of course, smash the thumbs up button if you do that. I greatly appreciate it. All right, guys, let's jump into it. So there's a bunch of news that I've been covering on this channel that I wanted to touch on, some of which I won't be able to talk about today. Number one, Elon Musk and his takeover of Twitter is officially a go, but there's still some details to iron out. I'm going to be talking about that in another video because there's some speculation that could be huge for the cryptocurrency ecosystems. Number two, it looks like there was a huge partnership that involves Coinbase, and I'm going to be talking about that in another video as well. But in today's video, I wanted to talk specifically about what XRP is doing, because as of about a week and a half ago, it really started to move, and it seemed to be decoupled from Bitcoin. It moved up to about 50 cents, which hasn't seen that in quite a long time. Meanwhile, Bitcoin's really kind of been stagnant, and of course the macro markets, things like the CPI numbers that came out today, affected all of that in the meantime. But XRP seems to be a little bit decoupled from the rest of these markets. It's been pushing up and holding strong regardless of what Bitcoin and some of the rest of these major blue chip cryptos have been doing. Right now it's at about 48 cents, and even with the CPI numbers coming out, the inflation data that just came out this morning horribly, XRP still held strong. Now, so did Bitcoin, and honestly, crypto did really well as well, and the rest of the markets seem to think that's some good news at the fact that we had 8.2% inflation. Now, if last year, in 2021, if I had said that we were going to be experiencing 8.1% year-over-year inflation, that the markets would not only not tank, they would actually take that as good news and be up big on the day. Well, welcome to the markets in 2022. Absolutely nothing makes sense. And before I get into some of the news that is going on with Ripple versus the SEC, there's a couple things I wanted to mention because James Filan, who I follow on Twitter, is a major contributor to the SEC versus Ripple case in terms of coverage, all the documents, and professional analysis that he gives, being an attorney himself. He said he is going to be off of Twitter for several weeks. Didn't give a reason why, possibly working on another case where he won't be allowed to be on Twitter, who knows why. But nonetheless, John Deaton is going to be the one to follow. If you haven't already, I don't know why you're not following John. He's going to be the one posting the news and the docket information that comes out with the SEC versus Ripple. Of course, that's handing it off to some very good, capable hands, so I'm sure John will have some great analysis when those documents come out. So like I said, go to Twitter, follow John Deaton. I'll put those links in the description below. And before I get into that, I wanted to mention a token that's built specifically on the XRP ledger, and that token is SoloGenic. If you remember from last winter, all XRP holders got an airdrop of SoloGenic tokens, and it proceeded to tank just like the rest of the market. Well, recently, and I mean very recently, in the past couple of weeks, it has spiked. Well, I shouldn't say spiked because that implies that the price came back down. Well, it didn't really come back down yet. As of about 3 weeks ago, the price was 12 cents for a SoloGenic token. It is now upwards of 40 cents. In fact, it hit a high of about 44 cents. It has climbed nearly 400% in the past couple of weeks, and it is definitely back on my radar. There's been some big news, some headlines, the SoloGenic ecosystem that is now being adapted more and more with the cryptosphere. Of course, you have the SoloGenic decentralized exchange, which has been growing and expanding in capabilities very quietly over this bear market. So nonetheless, you might want to go check that out as well if you're a fan of the XRP ledger and the tokens and coins involved in it. And one of the other things I'm going to be following specifically involving the SoloGenic marketplace is, of course, the free airdrops that you get with their new coin, Corium, their new layer 1 blockchain that the developers of SoloGenic have been working on in the background. There's going to be more videos about that to come in the near future. So nonetheless, SoloGenic up almost 400% in the last few weeks. Definitely want to keep an eye on. All right, so let's get into the Ripple versus the SEC case, because as of the last couple of weeks, it's been pretty quiet. The only thing that people have been talking about are these amicus briefs. By and large, all of these third parties that are submitting requests to submit an amicus brief are in support of Ripple. That is no shocker. There are none being submitted in support of the SEC. That is also not a shocker. Now, the SEC, of course, was not happy with it. They don't want any third parties, including John Deaton, including some of these others like iRemit and TapJets, and some of the others. They don't want submitting amicus briefs, and what they're going to say is that XRP is great for utility, it's great for their business, it's great for payments, cross-border payments, etc. The SEC didn't want that. The judge came out a few days ago and basically slapped them down and said, nope, they are free to submit their amicus brief. And so, in fact, just the other day, I believe yesterday, iRemit submitted their amicus brief to the courts. I will link to that. It was actually posted by James Filan. You can go ahead and read what they submitted. Now, a lot of the speculation recently has been that the price of XRP has been climbing because of the volume. The volume is up big compared to what it was previously over the past year or so, minus some major spikes here and there. Now, as I've been saying, as I've been covering this case, is that as we get closer to the end of this case, you're going to start to see volume pick up. Well, it has, because I believe people are placing their bets and they're getting closer and closer to placing bigger bets on XRP, and the fact that they believe Ripple is going to win, which of course is going to give XRP its regulatory clarity. At least that is what the speculation is. And I was going to say, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. But if you're new to this channel or you haven't watched a video of mine in several weeks, I no longer have a comment section. I turned that off on purpose. If you want to know why, well, it's because several weeks ago I did a review of my comments and found that 93% of my comments were either spam or scams or bots placing those, or of course the bots responding to those. And 93% is a ridiculously stupid number. So I turned off my comments because I didn't want any of my audience subjected to that any longer. So until YouTube helps out creators and creates a tool that can help minimize that as much as possible, I'm going to be having my comments turned off. You can always go follow me on Twitter if you want to have a conversation with me there. Of course, follow all the information that I tweet and retweet about the crypto world, and specifically about the Ripple versus the SEC case, the price of XRP, the price of SoloGenic, as well as some of the others in the XRP ecosystem, which are going to be some big ones to watch as the volume increases and as this case gets closer to the end, which I have now seen several professional analysis saying that they believe this case is coming to an end early in 2023. February, March, or April, so keep an eye out. All right, guys, so like I said, in my next videos, I'm going to be covering some of the different stories. I'm going to be covering some of the different stories in terms of what's going on in the macro, in terms of macroeconomics, in terms of the business world, things that are going to affect the cryptocurrency ecosystem, as well as some trading videos that I've recently been privy to learn about, as well as break off and do some videos that you probably haven't seen or probably wouldn't expect from this channel, which was originally why I started this channel, was to create a channel that talked about entrepreneurship, that talked about side hustles, that talked about making money online in various different ways, not just crypto investing. So keep an eye out if that interests you as well. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and please subscribe. I would love to get to 100,000 subscribers. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the thumbs up and for watching this all the way to the end. And as always, I'll see you guys on the next video.